Hello, warriors. We are here with Stephanie, and she is a therapist. One thing that we notice within Ascension itself, not only the twin flame Ascension, is that we tend to think we're crazy. So I've noticed a trend where there are more and more therapists, life coaches like Kathy D, coming in and instead of having that, that brand of am I crazy, we're actually finding people now that we're able to go to and talk to. And Stephanie is one of those. And I'll let you tell them more about what you are. I'm going to pull you onto the big screen. Okay.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm a marriage and family intern, soon to be limited license or associate in most states. I am also a twin flame. Why I am important on this mission is because I understand both the mental health aspects and the twin flame journey. Most of the time, if you go to a therapist and you talk about twin flames and you feel or hear your twin inside of yourself or your emotions are all over the place, they might tell you that you're suffering from borderline personality disorder or something like that, or you are schizophrenic or something like that. So I feel that it is important that you find a mental health professional that is a twin flame that knows exactly what they're talking about so they won't label you as being crazy, as they say, or just making stuff up in your head.
True.
Mhm.
And as for now, question: were you started on this path before Ascension, or being going through your Ascension process? Is that what started you on this?
Going through my ascension process, this was started before I worked in a job. I had been there like 10 years. I was very unhappy. Um, During the ascension process, I started tuning into myself, doing self care, and I realized I love love. I love loving on myself. I love helping people love themselves. And I actually started making like craft baskets for couples and individuals, like self care items. And then I was like, what job can I do this all the time? When can I help people? So I put in marriage and family, and therapists popped up. And I was just like, ding, 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 like a light bulb went off. And I've been in love ever since.
Kind of find your passion for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things that we're trying to express to the viewers, is that we have vulnerable aspects with us too. A lot of them, they come across as like they'll go to you. They come to me as a reader or energy worker, and they don't know my backstory. They haven't seen, all my vulnerable parts where I've gotten to where I am, now, and I'm nowhere near where I'm going to be at. And unless somebody follows us from day one, they don't know these things about us. And it was, brought to me by source that this is something that we need to do. We need to create this environment or this mini series where they can get to know us and they can see, we're human too. And I mean, and they know we are, but I want, um, I want for you to be able to tell us a little bit about your backstory, what led to your ascension, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, so prior to my ascension, like I said, I was in a job that I wasn't happy in. It paid well and I had benefits. I call it the golden handcuffs. I was handcuffed to this job, but I felt like every day I was dying inside. And I had applied for I don't know how many jobs in this industry, and nothing ever came up. I was praying to God. I thought that He just left me in this place. Like, why would you bring me this far to leave me? So I was actually giving up hope, but God was waiting on me to work inside myself. So that's when I said I need to start working on myself and what makes me happy. So crafting and working with my hands is one part of my gifting. I love to bake and I like to make stuff. So that's what led to me becoming a therapist. In the process of um, what led to the ascension process itself was I did the Daniel fast to a church, and one of my friends at a basketball game posted a picture of my twin flame, and I was like, ding, 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 and it felt like a electric went through my body. And I think Stevie Wonder got a song. It says something about your love knocked me off my feet. Well, it knocked me down. I jumped up and ran out the door.
Oh, wow. I bet that was hard to explain.
Yes. So I'm running around the building because I thought my phone exploded. I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking I have 2 months to pay off my phone. Now I gotta go get another one. So I come back into the office and my phone cut on. And I'm like, well, Apparently, I didn't get electrocuted. My hands or anything not messed up, but his picture was on my phone, and I'm like, oh, I remember this dude from a long time ago. I remember liking him, and that was the craziest thing. I think 20 years ago, I think I was manifesting him in my life, but I didn't know that's what that was. I knew it was something different about him, and I just was so drawn to him, but I just talked myself out of it. Like, this is insane. I'm not gonna be doing that. So, sure enough, almost 20 years later, God was like, remember him? And it seemed like he was like Thor, like he landed in my brain, how Thor just hit the ground. So, so mind you, I'm doing a Daniel fast. So we're not eating meat. I'm only eating vegetables and fish. So I'm like, the devil is messing with me. He's tempting me with this man. I don't know how and why he's in my head. So I'm like, maybe I need to stop eating fish because clearly it's doing something to my system. So I guess I learned early how to block it. I tried to block it as much as I could. Like I wouldn't even think about him all day. But as soon as I lay down, he'd come back, and I'd be like, "What is happening? Where? Why are you in my head?" I was getting so mad. So the ascension process started, and I remember it got to my head, and I was like loopy. And I don't know if you remember the cartoon called Goofy. How he used to be clumsy.
Hmm.
Like my feet and my hands was not coordinated anymore. My head wasn't coordinated.
That's actually, you bring up something good for those who are coming in. If you find yourself doing that, that's actually part of it. I experienced it, and many other people have. So yeah, I guess that's part of the process.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know if it's like the merging of the two that's mixing stuff up. I really knew something was wrong. Like one day I went to cut on a light and I like missed the light and I had some cups in my hand and they like flew up in the air and I caught them and I like cut the light back on. Like it was the craziest moment. I'm like, something is seriously wrong. I'm like, that is not my sinuses. So I looked up head spinning and soulmate. And if you look up them two words, you will get the same exact results. It was like twin flame and ascension process. So as I was looking, I was like, it seemed like I have the same symptoms of an ascension process and a twin flame, but I haven't met anybody. So for 4 months, I like denied the connection. I'm like, I am not a twin flame. This man is just in my head. But as I looked at the stages, we was going through the stages. I'm like, how is this possible? I haven't met him in person. So if I can guess like a percentage, we might be in the 1% who didn't meet first. So
True.
yeah,
You,
because everybody
you guys,
else
she wasn't joking. You type it in.
still true. 4 years
Wow.
later, head spinning and soulmate. I don't know how I came up with that. I was watching this the Fixer Upper, and she was like, when you want to Google something, narrow down the word. So I was like, my head is spinning, and this man is my soulmate. I think so. There we go, and that's how it popped up.
I think mine was, why am I mad at him but obsessively thinking of him? Yeah.
You're like, dog on you, get out my head.
Yes, because you feel like you've been invaded. It's overwhelming, and it can get frustrating, and there were bouts of anger because you feel like you don't even know anything about sovereignty at that point, but you feel like your sovereignty's been invaded without even having a name for it. So
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. And having somebody to talk to about that. I think I lucked out. I lucked out because I ended up with Bertina and Jupiter 1111, and they led me to Kathy, and I lucked out with that. But not many people, and she and I have talked about it. Not many people luck out like that, and I think that having somebody like you to be able to come to really is going to be the difference between night and day. Not only getting those who are coming in now kind of like past those iffy parts a little bit quicker, but also bring more unions about,
Mhm.
because we do so much ego sets in, and there's so much is he, isn't he, or is she, isn't she, doubting ourselves, the
Mhm.
self-doubts, because we already feel like we're crazy.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think having you and others who have felt that calling like you have in there is going to be a tremendous help,
Mhm.
with more coming up, because we've
Mhm.
we've got a lot coming, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, they're telling me to be quiet.
Oh, and I have this thing like I can pick up on who's twin flames. I don't know if it's by the words they saying or stuff. And I'd be
Mhm.
like, oh, so have you heard that before? And they'd be like, oh my God, like how did you know that? So I
Good.
know these
Oh,
five,
that's
six
awesome.
couples I've met since this started. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, Same with me. I started noticing it by being able. It's like an energy. The only way I can describe it is like an arrow pointing down. My daughter and I went to a concert. I was about 3 months into Ascension. We were actually supposed to go to a concert with him and her. It was our birthday, thing, and all that had happened. So, of course, he didn't get to come. But one of the headliners, I looked at her and I looked at my daughter and I looked back at her. I said, "Honey, she's a twin flame." "Oh, Mom," I said, "Honey, I'm telling you, she's a twin flame." It wasn't even 8 months later, and I started noticing that was it kind of expanded. I got to where like if I looked at a picture of someone and then their person who they thought that was their person, I can see the energy attachment and everything.
Wow.
um
Wow.
so I think that, like, with you being able to do that, that's part of your gifting because this is your calling.
Oh wow. Wow. That's good.
Yeah. See, you have so many gifts, and like they tell me to hush a lot of times because I have a big mouth. But you have, I love listening to your voice. I love hearing you talk. And if you, when you get a chance to watch the interview with April and I, we were talking about doing this video with you, the next video, and I was expressing how I just love listening to you. You have this voice, this presence. It is so gentle
Oh,
and loving, and then listening
thank
to you
you.
talk, I can listen to you talk forever. Just, I think that's part of your gifting too, is to put people at ease. The way that you um I don't, not enunciate, but like just, oh, I don't even want to try to find the wording for it, but just know,
Well, thank you.
I'm
I
not, and
appreciate
I
it.
know I'm not the only person that you know
Thank you. I say I'm going to coin myself as the sultry therapist because I love to cook and I give food for thought and food for your appetite.
There
So
you go. There you
thank
go.
you. I think it's my grandmother's energy and stuff coming through. They be like, "No, you got this AT grandma thing coming through." So yeah, I'm gonna feed you, give you something to eat, and then tell you about yourself at the same time. Like, here you go, but you need to get yourself together.
He's yours is coming in. I'm gonna need those extra calories anyway, so he always has something snarky to say when he's coming in. Um, okay, and okay, along your ascension path, what what would you say would be the most difficult setback or lesson that you've had to kind of go over and over and over until you finally realize, oh, this is a karmic lesson and I'm supposed to be learning something here? And what did you use or learn, or was there a negative information or something to kind of help you get through it, where you were able to get past that?
Self acceptance is kind of coming up over and over and over and over again. Like even me becoming a therapist, even though I know that it's a skill that you got to get used to using. So I'm the kind of person that I like to stand back, and I was the hide. I would like to hide behind stuff. Don't want to be seen, because like a child, like most people being teased as a child and have negative um, relationships, I just decided to hide myself. So
Mhm.
I hid myself in my clothes, with my weight, with
Yeah.
my career, everything. That's why my other job never worked out because I was content if I can just get to a certain place, I can hide. And every time I would try to do that, God would just shift me. Like, no, you're not here to hide. You're here to stand out. So my twin flame is very vocal and out there. And I was even in that relationship, like, you go out there and I stand back. And God is like, no, I didn't create you to stand back behind him. You're not going to be in his shadow. You
There
got to
you go.
stand up too. So what has helped me is I don't journal as much because I don't have time, but I guess I talk through it. One of the things that's helped me is mirror work. Me standing in front of the mirror, looking at myself,
Okay.
looking at the places inside of myself in my body and accepting it for what it is. I am a plus size woman. I'm a proud of to be a plus size woman. I'm 42 years old. It is what it is at this point. It is what it is. I can't change it. Because of that, the more self acceptance I have, the more emotional weight I'm losing. That's what I'm finding. So I'm coming into this shape, and I learned that God has embodied me with this body, like you said, to help my clients, that they see me and they feel comfortable. It's all built into the process. And I
Yeah.
have to learn how to comfort myself and be like, stop being so hard on yourself. Like, nobody has ever told me, oh, you don't look right. You fat, you this. I was telling myself that. So I was my own inner critic.
Yeah.
So when I tell people how to shut that inner critic up, I started buying clothes. Some clothes. I've never been a shopper, but this past year, I don't know if it was the pandemic, I started buying clothes that showed off my figure and made me look good and feel good. And then on special nights, I might dress up and put on lingerie for myself. Have
Whoa.
a
Okay.
glass of- yeah, put on, have some music on, a glass of wine, polish my fingernails and my toes, and make myself feel good.
All right. Oh, that's some ideas right there. Okay.
Yes. So if anybody ever call me, I'm gonna be like, that's gonna be one of the things I tell you. How do you make yourself feel good? Don't look for somebody else to make you feel good outside of yourself. It's an inside out job.
True.
So anybody else you meet, they need to compliment that, or they can keep going.
Yeah. Mirror it.
Mhm,
Definitely. I-
mhm,
and I understand because it's something that I've struggled with myself.
mhm.
So definitely, I'm gonna have to work with you now. I need help.
Yes, go ahead and check out that Shein or that Fashion Over Curve and get it together. You'll be okay.
Um. Okay. As a leader you've been here long enough to kind of sit back in the side. I've watched you sit back in the sidelines, but you've been coming out more when you felt led to, instead of just kind of sitting back like a shrinking violet. But I've noticed you watching. You just been watching, and I think that's part of the therapist in you too. um as far as advice, what are you seeing like trending? Because for me, it was seeing the rules being laid down by certain readers. I'm not naming names, I'm just saying that uh, I felt led to constantly give advice on instances like that. What have you noticed that you feel like the newer ones coming in need to kind of know and maybe adjust to?
That there's really isn't no rules. They could be like suggestions, but there's really no rules. Each person's journey is their own personal journey, like in life. So even though two couples can be similar, their journey is going to be different.
True.
Is beauty in the differences, so embrace that. One of the things is that a lot of people get stuck on is the end result, getting
Mm,
to the end,
yeah.
but it's about the journey to get to the end. And don't focus so much on the end part that you miss the beautifulness in the journey.
True.
Yes. So, like I said, me was discovering myself in this whole thing. If this journey hadn't started, I would never got to that point.
So true.
Yes. So yeah. So don't focus on the end part. I tell people to focus on those little itty bitty things that couples don't have. Traditional couples don't have telepathy. Embrace that.
Yeah.
Feed into it. Like if you feeling like you and your twin flame is distance, count how many times a day that y'all have telepathy. Count
Well,
it. Write it down. We have couples in therapy who are dying to know what the other person is thinking. Tap
that
into
is
your twin is feeling. Couples don't know what the other person is feeling. Some people are blank.
like
So
the whole thing. I'm not a mind reader. That's within therapy, I've seen that come up a lot. I'm not a mind reader, and we
mhm,
have that. Yeah, true.
yeah, so feed into that, pour into that love on that part. Like really embrace that part. When I say really, 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 really embrace that part, embrace that closeness. Like y'all have a we have a built-in magnet. Traditional couples don't even have that.
Hmm.
So thick and thin, good and bad, no matter what you is, your twin is gonna be there for you as long as you're there for yourself.
Hmm.
Lean on that part, like embrace it, throw your hands around it. You don't have to wait to a reunion to be together. Y'all are together now. So lean into that telepathy, feel those feels, give them hugs, those dreams if you have it. Enjoy every single minute because traditional couples do not have that.
True.
Mhm,
Dance with them.
mhm. Yeah, so when the moments, like I said, when on them Saturday nights, you might be at home by yourself,
But
but
you
you
really
feeling
not.
good, you got some wine on. Imagine your twin sitting there. And that's another tip. Like if you're feeling bad, I noticed that sometimes I get a heavy thing of depression or this sadness. Um, Ask yourself if that's you. It may be your twin. And for me, I learned if I talk to him like he's sitting there, but like, no, we ain't doing that today. How we gonna get out this funk? That energy will move.
Hmm.
So the more you know yourself, the more you will know your twin.
True. And for those of you, what she just described, like one way to know if it comes in hot and heavy, really, really quick, literally out of nowhere, nine times out of 10, it's most likely your twin, unless you are in an environment where it's coming from somebody else around you. um, just send it back out. Say, I'm not this. This is not for me to transmute. I lovingly send it back out to whomever it belongs to. If it comes back in again, you may have to do it several times, especially if it's your twin, because they tend to kind of lean on us. But yeah, that's a very good piece of advice.
Mm-hmm. Yep, standing your truth. Like that's why they say you need to know yourself. So if you know different things make you feel good, like journaling or taking deep breaths or listening to music, and you do those things and that energy don't move, that's a good sign that it's not yours.
Hmm.
And do what Miss Bettina said, send it back and have them deal with that. But yeah, that's how you can determine if it's yours or theirs.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have any promos going on? Is the holiday season or anything that you just generally, a price range that you think others can really benefit from? Anything like that?
Um, I don't have any promos, but I know it's the season and it's the holidays. So depression and sadness around this time is really big for people because they have lost loved ones and stuff. So grief counseling is always available right now. You can always contact me and like, hey, I have um a situation, a loved one has passed on and I'm having a difficult time this season. Contact us and contact me and let me know and I will talk to you and give you some tips and things.
Okay. And I'm going to, when I upload the video, I'm going to put all your contact information. It's going to be in the little info box in case anybody's wondering. It should be down below.
Mhm. Oh yeah, and this picture behind me,
Mhm.
I bought this picture like 10 years ago, not knowing that one day I'll be a therapist. It's a couple embracing itself.
Wow. That's
Hmm.
beautiful. I
Yeah,
love it.
did not know. It's a matching picture over there. Did not know that. And across my TV is a lady dancing freely. I never thought about that, what that meant until I became
Yeah.
into this process. Mhm.
Yeah, I have noticed there's a lot of things. Like my twin and I met him when I was 13. He's 4 years older than me, so he's been my spouse, my children's father, and my husband. Yeah, I mean, just pretty much everything to me for most of my life. But looking back now, I see things that I bought or things that I did unknowing, because we weren't, I call it activated. I wasn't activated until 2.5 years ago. But yeah, and you're not the only one I've come across either that have bought things, and the actual meaning has come in now. They understand it better, why they ended up with that certain thing, or did that certain thing, went that certain place. And yeah,
That's
definitely.
amazing. I know my twin, he has a house and it's a giant kitchen. I was like, haha, he bought that kitchen for me and you don't even know.
Exactly, exactly. They do it too. Definitely, they do it too. Be like, I don't know why I'm doing this or why I did that. Well, I do, but okay.
Right. I know. Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
So true.
yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else to add?
Like I'm enjoying this journey. At one point I was like, why me? Why is this happening? I dreaded this separation. I was like, this is awful. Now I'm not saying I don't have days. I'll be like, why? But for the most part, I understand the separation now through
Yeah.
my beautiful godmothers, Miss Bettina and Bonita, and all of them. They give me guidance all the time to get me back on track real quick. Like, no, 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 get back over there, and I straighten up and get it back together. So community is very important in this process,
It is.
and that's why Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers work community. So it's true here. Community works for the twin flame experience too.
True. Very true.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the purpose of being able to do this, bringing back people back into a community, because um you're saying that, and I'm getting in that's been lacking over the last year. We kind of all went into hermit mode, but we left community, and we need to bring that back around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I have enjoyed talking to you.
I enjoy talking to you too.
I know everybody else is
I
going to
think my
love it.
story is a rom-com. That's what we have a rom-com.
Yeah, you told me that the other day, and I about died laughing. I'm like, well, no, I think she's got a point. Oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm going to put all your information below, and thank you very much.
You're
We will
welcome.
talk to you later.
Anytime. I'm always here for anything. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye, warriors.
Bye.